Good morning and welcome to the Stony Love Show. Um, my usual co host is not in today. I hope he is feeling well. I'm wishing you all a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me whenever you decide to watch this video. What's next, America? Mm, a lot of things have happened overnight. Um, I want to start with the story of the American farmers. We depend on the American farmers for a lot of our food, vegetables, produce. We depend on our American farmers who were one of the main um, voters that voted for the president to make the changes in America, and they trusted him to make these changes so that they can save their legacy and their farmland. So I was reading an article about farmers and soybean. Soybean is a very, very important. It's a very important crop. Um, this year, the farmers have not sold any soybeans to China. So a lot of you who are unaware, we use soybeans for collagen, for the animal feed. It's a very, very important crop for different things. So with Trump being elected as president, China is no longer buying the soybeans from our farmers. And last year, they sold over, well, the year before, they sold over $12 billion in soybeans. This year, they have absolutely not made any deals with China. China is selling now to Argentina, which is where Trump has given all of these monies to this other country, and now they are the leading country in negotiation with China, and so that has now xed out our farmers. So what is going to happen to our farmland, our food? What about us? So I didn't want to, kind of get too deep into it, but I was reading that and I thought that it was just so definitely sad that our farmland is just sitting there. Banks do not want to loan money or bail out these the farmers. They want to. I think the article was more like um, they're hoping that the people that are behind all of this with the land and for the farmers not to be able to sell or make money eventually come, and the ultimate thing will be to take their land and their legacy. I hope that's not the case, but that was just something that I wanted to share with you guys. I feel the oppression. I really do. So I don't know. Now, overnight, Russians holds nuclear drills after delay to Putin and Trump's summit. So, a day after the United States announced a delay in plans for a second summit between President Putin and Trump, Russia stated on today that it had carried out a major training exercise involving nuclear weapons. Oh boy. And that's just some of the stories. So the government is in its 22nd day of shutdowns. This is the second longest a shutdown in U.S. history, surpassing the 1995 and 96 lapse in federal funding, dragging into day 22 with no end in sight, America. The Senate will hit the gavel today. They're in session right now, 10 a.m., to yet again end the shutdown. Democrats are demanding a meeting with President Trump. But I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to go for it. So the Democrats have stated the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries have reached out to President Trump proposing a sit down, and he would like to negotiate um, a resolve to the healthcare crisis. And he's requesting and he's asking that Trump end this shutdown. Now, speaking of Hakeem Jeffrey, a January 6th rioter who was pardoned by President Trump on his first day in office, his name is Christopher Moynihan. Yeah, Christopher Moynihan, who is 34 years old. He was charged with making terroristic threats to Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader. Now, in these text messages, Moynihan, who is 34, stated, "I cannot allow this terrorist to live." One message stated, "And even if I am hated, he must be eliminated." And he's meeting Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Now, this is a text message that was found from Christopher Moynihan. Now, Moynihan is one of the January 6th rioters who was um, pardoned by Trump the first day in office. It was a slew of them who had been sentenced and was to serve a sentence in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Now, these people were pardoned and they have been released and they are committing crimes again. So they had no chance to be rehabilitated or to get themselves into a rehabilitative state of mind. They were released, no reform, and they are out here committing crimes again. Not just political terrorists, they're terrorizing their own neighborhood. One of the other January 6th rioters was caught burglarizing a business in his own neighborhood. So these people feel as if justice is beyond them, that because they have someone in a political stance that could help them and to free them, they feel that the laws do not pertain to them. So there are no boundaries when it comes to these people. Okay, so moving right along, Trump approval rating is up by 2%. It was down 40%. It was at 40% a month ago, and he's holding steady at 42% approval rating. I don't know, my beautiful people. I was looking at a video and I saw where people were burning their MAGA hats. Um, I'm going to say MABA for me. Make America blue again. How about that? Or, yeah, I'm going to keep it nice. Make America blue again. So, because this MAGA thing isn't working. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying. SNAP benefits in California is at risk and at other states as the government is shut down, there is no negotiation in sight, and there could be a possible freeze on people receiving government benefits this month, upcoming month. So if you've already received benefits this month, thank God for that, because you may not receive any food stamps to be able to feed your family in the month of November. I'm sorry, I was looking out the window. It's a very beautiful day. I'm filming from Atlanta, and for all of you who are looking at me around the world, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day today. Now, another part of the story that I want to talk about: Trump is seeking $250 million from the Department of Justice for damages he claims during former President Joe Biden's administration. The first claim was in late 2023, where Trump seeks damages for from the FBI and special counsel investigation into the Russian election tampering and possible connections to Trump's 2016 campaign. The second claim in summer of 2024 accuses the FBI of violating Trump's privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago for classified documents in 2022. That complaint also accuses the Justice Department of malicious persecution in charging him with mishandling sensitive records. Trump reopened the issue last week with Attorney General Pam Bundy and FBI Director Kash Patel as he was in discussion on the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Trump said, "I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I am sort of suing myself." Trump intends, if he wins, to donate the $230 million to charity. And doesn't that kind of sound narcissistic? I'm kind of like suing myself. Oh, but that's what we definitely, well, not we, but I say we as a collective voted for. A lot of people are very angry right now because they want for Trump to be able to make good on the promises that he promised the American people, that he promised lower food costs. Because if you remember during the campaign, he was speaking about that if we elected Kamala Harris, that we would have higher food costs, we would have higher gas prices. Um, but everything that we were counting on him for has been a slap in the face, and we have yet to receive those things that have been promised. Since he has taken office, it has been a whirlwind from day one, and that is beginning with parting the January 6ers from 2021 riot until just a continuation of the immigration. Um, let me. Oh, I have to choose my words carefully. So, making American people who are just unaware and people who believe that brown people or people of color are bad, or that they are here without just cause. The Trump administration has violated American people, and I say American people, and even illegal immigrants, the due process. And because there's a process for everything, there is a just cause, there is a due process, there is a formula that has to be executed before you just go yanking up people off the streets and kicking down the doorways and doing things like that. So when I say that, telling the people of America, I need to provide not the National Guard in your city because you're unsafe, is the people who are uneducated and the people who are being misinformed. They are believing that he is cleaning up the world, that he's making America great again. But in the midst of doing all of this, redirecting, um, making an us versus them type of mentality, people are becoming anxious. They are becoming in retaliation to what is being done. You have seen in some cases where when illegal immigrants are getting pulled over, they are fighting back. A U.S. Marshal was shot on yesterday, to be exact, as they were doing a traffic stop. The perpetrator was shot as well, and the U.S. Marshal was injured. So these things could be minimized if they would go about it in um, a correct way. And that would be, if you know someone is illegally here and they are in the United States without their papers, instead of rounding them up like hurdle and like animals and taking them to places that the family doesn't know where they are, and treating them in a inhumane way, um, it is you American the administration should follow the law. Don't make the law work for them in a negative way. Follow the guidelines of the law, stay in the parameters of the law, get the criminals. If we the people are so much in danger, and if we the people are so much in a detriment where we are can't walk the streets and we're being looted, follow the law. Get the arrest warrants, get the proper paperwork, go before the judge. And then when you round the people up, even if you skip that part, let allow the illegal immigrants to have their day in court, and make sure that and if you made a mistake and you picked up the wrong person, do the right thing as the administration and release the people back to where they belong. Um, I've read so many articles where people are being arrested based off the way they name, sound. One article I read, an agent told a young lady, "You don't look like your name. How do you look like your name?" So it's these type of things that are that seems, you don't want to say that it's racism or that it's racial profiling or putting people in a certain category, but it's being blatantly done. It is being blatantly done where people are being targeted based off of their skin color, their accent, their dialect, how they speak. Um, it's very sad that as the more that I learn more about MAGA, the Make America Great Again concept, I'm learning more because I didn't really understand, but I'm reading and educating myself on how these people think. They are believing in their superiority as white people to believe that they need to be classified as number one. And so no one is above them. No one is above their rules, their organization. I look at it as they are a gang. Like they are it's like they're a gang, and they're ganging up on the American people and creating the oppression, and they're even creating an oppression for their own. They not intending to, but some of their own people fall into an income bracket, even though they believe the MAGA principles and the belief. Um, with that being said, they there are some of their own people who are being oppressed by the changes that the administration is making. Like this shutdown is really creating a hardship, not just for the people of color, but it's also creating for those that are like them, that fall in that income bracket. They're also feeling the hurt. Now, another thing that is concerning is that a lot of hospitals will possibly lose funding with the big beautiful bill and the changes that were made to Medicare and Medicaid. A lot of elderly people in some of the states have been kicked out and out of the nursing homes. So these people who are like them and who have voted to have these changes that they thought were going to benefit them, but their income bracket wasn't high enough, they are feeling the fact that they have to take care of their elderly loved ones now, that they don't have enough money for gas, bread, and I'm sorry, my audio went out. So yeah, I was just on a rant about the people, not the American people who voted for these changes. They didn't think that it was going to impact their pockets, that it wasn't going to impact them, but some of them fall in a income bracket that, yes, it affects them as well. So meanwhile, in New York City, hundreds showed up to protest um, the in I'm sorry, hundreds showed up to protest what broke out in New York City on Tuesday evening. This is after the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is known as ICE, raids related to selling counterfeit goods in China in the Chinatown neighborhood. So, hours after federal agents descended on Lower Manhattan, demonstrators were seen assembling near 26 Federal Plaza, an immigration building where they believe detainees were taking, and many shouting, "ICE out of New York," and "No ICE, no KKK, and no fascist USA." So there you have it, my beautiful people. What's next in America? Um, Starvation, no due process, violating. It is clear that the Trump administration, as I read more about the 25th, there are 25 amendments, and as I go through all of them slowly but surely, it is clear that the Trump administration is violating the um, 14th Amendment, and many more amendments are being violated. And I really don't have words for it. I just know that, will we overcome? Will there be justice? Will there be um, a change in our system? Or are we going, as we approach our 250th um, anniversary of the United States of America, and as we grow and things are going on in America, we have a extremeness of homelessness, and as we talk about healthcare, mental health facilities, what are going to happen? What will happen to our people? What will happen to the American people who need mental health care, for our children, for the adults? The 1 in 5 of our veterans receive SNAP benefits. And these are people that fought for our country, and they may not get food in the upcoming month. And the pantries that depend on the government to get funding or to receive donations, the people that would normally give and keep the pantries full, looks like now these people will be in the soup kitchen line or the pantry line to feed their families. You have workers that are being forced to work with no pay because the planes have to keep going, and they're not even being promised back pay wages at this moment. There is no negotiations of them possibly receiving back pay. So what will happen? The car loans are the car industry is suffering because a lot of people are in default of their car loans. Um, if you want to purchase a brand new car today, it is doubled. Why? Because tariffs are high. Who have to pay for the tariffs? So even though the consumer even though when they are purchasing and they are buying the goods, it is then passed down to the consumer. We have to pay for that. So Amazon just went up 20% on their goods. Walmart just went up 20% on their goods. So with that being said, you're having to spend extra. You're having to spend more money, but you have less money to spend. So you having to spread and make sacrifices. And any, mini, money, mo. Am I gonna do this today? Am I gonna be able to do that today? So America, what's next? Where do we go from here? How do we make America right again? How? Because it's clearly divided, and we have a lot of people who who are committing political violence, and they're blatantly doing it and saying it and don't mind saying it or doing it. So with that being said, what's next, America? What are we going to do from here? We have so many issues that are on the table that should be addressed: healthcare, mental health, gun control, um, and for the president to be tearing down the east wing of the White House. He said, I was listening to something that he said. He says, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" As the bulldozer go over the tear down the east wing of the White House. He says, "That sounds like money to me." So you take a part of American history and you demolish it. You want your face on Mount Rushmore. You want to change the Kennedy Library to the Trump Library. Who is going to stop him? At what point do someone or the people, even that he elected with him to carry out all of this madness, who say, listen, America is about democracy, it's about the land of the free? And when will the Republicans be brave enough to stand up and do the right thing and know that they were elected to do and serve this beautiful country in a way and be the voice of the people, not the voice of one ethnicity, but the voice of the people, no matter which side the um, of the gavel that you stand in Senate, that you do what's right for the American people. Because at some point, it affects someone in your family. Everybody who's in the Senate, their family isn't just living high on the hog. So it is affecting your family members too. It's passing down somewhere in your family. So I just, that's where I'm at with that today. I'm going to make it brief today. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. What's next, America? I don't know. Leave me a comment. And if you like what I'm talking about here on my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can email me at info at I am Stony Love at info at iamstonylove.com. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, drink your water and mind your business.